Now we're going to talk about cross-cutting. In this case, we would say that we had several pieces and we want them all the identical length. So how we do that, how we achieve that, is we make the cross-cut using the miter gauge. We want to make sure that we grip the piece and hold it in tight. And we're going to run it right through, past the blade. Once it's past the blade, I can slide it back, and then I can pull the miter gauge back. Don't leave it in its spot and try to pull it back through the blade, because if you make a mistake, it could bind and it could kick back on you. This is how we do it. When the saw stops, you can clear the waste, get it out of there. At that point, if we had all of them cut, let's say we had 20 pieces, we cut all 20 pieces, we square up one end. The reason we square up the one end is because we don't know if it's already square or not. We want to make sure that our ends are definitely square. So at that point, I could turn it around and I could put a stop lock. So let's say that's the length that I want. I've had it all marked out. I know exactly where the cut's made. What I can do is I can put a stop lock up against it. I can clamp it on here. Okay, I gotta make sure that it's nice and tight, doesn't get away on me. So what happens at this point is I can make another cut and it should be the exact length. What you don't wanna do is you don't wanna move your fence up against it and try cutting like this. If it's tight up against the fence, it could do that little bit of racking and it could kick back on you. If you wanted to do a piece and get it exactly where you want. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're looking at mitering pieces using the miter gauge. So what we need to do is, we're set at 90 right now. The little tab on the back here, I've just pushed it out of the way. That was set up as a stop to keep it at 90. I'm gonna loosen the knob here. Okay, and I'm gonna put it in this position. And it's sometimes nice to have a little line drawn in here so you know exactly where it's gonna come through. So I'm gonna say in this case, I'm gonna set it to 70 degrees. I'll lock it in place. And what I wanna do is I wanna set it up like that. And I'm gonna set my first cut on it. The reason I like to do it and have it in this direction is if I make a mistake, it's running downhill this way. If I go 70 degrees back the other way, if I'm pushing it, I may have a tendency of pushing it downhill. If I push it downhill, then I'm going to put myself in danger because I will actually cause it to bind. So swing it back to the 70 going the other way. That's exactly where I want to be. I want to be lined up. And I'm going to push it through, and I'll do that now. Until the saw stops. If a piece is sitting there and it's sitting up against there, because the saws have a tendency of having a little vibration in them, that piece could actually vibrate back towards the blade, come past the operator. So you want to make sure that you're not standing behind that. Once the blade stops, you take it out of the way, and you're all set. There's cutting a miter using the miter gauge. There's no reason why you can't take this miter gauge. You'll have to change the position of the auxiliary fence here, and you can come out of the other slot too. That way, when you go and you cut your other angle and you turn it this way, you're going to be running downhill away from the blade again. Less chance of binding.